Mobile games are a hit or miss. It's really hard to find a good mobile game in the App Store these days that isn't filled to the brim with ads just being thrown in your face. But of course, that does not stop me from occasionally go scrolling through the App Store and just finding some random mobile game to, download and just play, because why not? I might just delete it afterward, but still, why not? So, being a fan of Godzilla, and being a person that occasionally plays through some bad mobile games, I thought, why don't I check out all the Godzilla mobile games I can find? So that's what I'm doing. First and foremost, we've got whatever this says. I don't care to translate. And basically all this game is exactly what you see on screen. Exciting, isn't it? See, now this would be kinda cool if you could do more than just repeatedly punch the same Godzilla over and over again. But that's all you can do. And now I know this is probably unofficial, but I'm still counting it because I feel like it. But yeah, there you have it. There's whatever you call that. Next up, we have a game called Run Godzilla. This is a mobile game for sure. Basically, the whole gist of this one is, for some reason, your kaiju are entering races, and you need to, make your kaiju bigger and faster and whatnot to make sure they win the races, I guess. So, that's great, that's cool, awesome. But, just one problem with that. You can't control your kaiju. You can't make them do anything in the races, really. All you can do is press this cheer button, which I'm not exactly sure what it does. But all in all, it's extremely boring, and I don't see the point in this game existing, really. I mean, I'm pretty sure this game is, official, but at the same time, it's so weird and, I would say bad to the point where I have a hard time believing it actually is official. I'm really not sure what to think. Godzilla Omniverse is probably one of the weirdest mobile games I've ever played. So, this game has a really weird token system, or I guess currency system in general, where it just kind of begs you to watch ads to be able to do much of anything, from my experience. This game gives off the vibe of an old arcade game, even though it's not really that old as far as I can tell. But it feels more like a port to the mobile platform than an actual game made for the mobile platform. I don't know if it is a port, but it sure as hell seems like it. The controls are weird, everything is just kind of too big, in my opinion. Like the big arrows on the starting screen, they're just too big. I don't understand. The controls on the actual gameplay itself, when you're, fighting and playing the game, they feel too big too. Everything just feels weird, uncomfortable, and out of place. The gameplay itself is fine enough. Maybe I'm just bad, maybe I'm just getting used to it, but it just feels really difficult to get used to. I don't know. Again, this whole game really feels like a very bad port to the mobile platform, and if it's not actually just a port, then that's a really bad thing for whoever made this game and whoever designed the UI. The ads get really atrocious after a while, especially the unskippable ones that you're forced to watch if you want to, just get a couple more coins so that you can, replay a fight that you lost just one time. The thing is, I feel like I would have liked this game a lot if it felt like there was more to do. There's no story mode, as far as I can tell. It's just an arcade and a gauntlet, where the arcade, you fight other kaiju, and then in the gauntlet, you fight a bunch of tanks and turrets and stuff. And I'm not sure what you get out of it, but it's okay. But all in all, it just feels like there isn't enough to do in this game. It just feels kind of boring. I mean, the gameplay itself isn't that boring. It feels like I could enjoy the gameplay, but the game itself as a whole, with how much there is to do, feels boring. There's no story mode, there's no campaign, there's no whatever. It's just the arcade, I guess, and the gauntlet. And the arcade, by the way, is very limited. You can't fight certain characters, a lot of certain characters. You can't play as a lot of the characters. There's really not much you can do until later on in the game when you grind enough to get enough tokens. Apparently nobody else knows this game exists. I've looked it up online a little bit. I've tried to see, whether or not this game was a port. I don't think it's a port. Again, I haven't seen anything about it. But it seems like practically no one actually realizes that this game exists and is a thing on the App Store. This game would be a lot better if the UI was not so uncomfortable and the currency system was not so annoying, and I didn't have to watch so many ads all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the home stretch. The last two games I have to talk about are Godzilla Defense Force and Godzilla Battle Line. So let's get into Godzilla Defense Force. Godzilla Defense Force is a game I used to play a lot, actually, a few years ago. So I have some rather fond memories of it, but I'll try and put all biases aside for this. This game, I like it, but I don't really know if you can call it much of a game. It's not that. It's a tap simulator. That's what it is. It's like a tycoon. It's where you just tap the screen. Doesn't matter where you tap. You just tap the screen, send a bunch of little soldiers out to their deaths to fight kaiju, and you make money by doing so. That's great, awesome, and that's basically about it. And you upgrade bases to, continue getting stronger to fight stronger opponents. When you defeat an opponent, you get their card, or their kaiju card, I think it's called. And that kaiju card can, provide you certain buffs and upgrades for your troops while you're in the middle of battle. Like a temporary 10-second damage buff or a temporary 10-second production speed buff. Some kaiju cards, mainly the Godzilla ones, will even let you, bring out a kaiju like a Godzilla to come out and help you in your battle. And he'll throw a big-ass rocket Ebra or something. I don't know. It's cool, though. It looks cool. It's funny. The game's story is about the Zillions. The black spandex aliens coming to invade Earth. Of course, they start in Tokyo, but you can go all around to different locations around the globe. In this game, since they're invading Earth, obviously civilians are on the run. And you can actually save civilians. But, of course, when you save a civilian, what do you do with them? Well, you do what any good person would do, and you send them to the moon to be free labor, I guess, for mining out moonstones, which is interesting. And those moonstones can be used to upgrade kaiju cards, I believe, to make them stronger. Maybe I'm wrong. I know that they upgrade something, or they can be used as a currency for something. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. I don't know. But they can upgrade something. I believe it's the kaiju cards. I'm like 90% sure. If you want a game that is just kind of brain dead and like you don't gotta do much, this is the game for you. If you just want like a time waster, this is the game for you. If you want something a bit more strategic and skill-based, this probably isn't the game for you. Last but not least, my friends, we have Godzilla Battle Line. I believe this is the most recent mainline like Godzilla mobile game. I think this is the most recent official mainline Godzilla mobile game. I think. Maybe. I believe so. It's kind of peak, guys. It's kind of great. I like it. I love it. It's awesome. Hear me out. The concept for this is just, again, hear me out. This is going to be hard to understand, but Godzilla, but Clash Royale. Doesn't that sound insane? Well, you know what? They did it, guys. They did it. They put that concept together, and they did it so beautifully with Godzilla Battle Line. Godzilla Battle Line is, like I said, Clash Royale, but Godzilla. They use the kaiju as units to play as in the game, or not play as, but to deploy and play with in the game. You can use some units, unlike Clash Royale, that just has the towers. You can use some units as your leader units, which is basically your center tower that you have to protect. Obviously, just like in Clash Royale, protect the tower on your side, and you have to try and destroy the enemy's unit leader on their side. If you destroy the enemy's unit leader, then you win. If your leader gets destroyed first, then you lose. The game actually gives you a lot to do with, of course, a normal free battle mode, which I don't really think anybody uses, a ranked battle mode, which is the thing that people will use. There are also events that will come up and people can compete in, and people can play in to get rewards. There's also a studio mode, which I'm not really sure why that exists. I'm not really sure what it does, but, you know, cool. You can get units, or I guess cards, or whatever they're called, by going on expeditions, which are these things that you can receive expedition maps by, completing challenges or ranking up or whatever. The loading times are a bit annoying at times. I don't ever really have a problem with ads. I don't think I've ever really had to... Have I ever had to deal with ads in this game? I don't think I have. I'm not really sure I've actually had a problem with ads in this game. I don't think I have. One flaw, though, I do think this game has is the friendly 1v1 system is just broken for some reason. You can get friends on the game, and you should be able to have just a friendly, no consequences 1v1, right? But for some reason that doesn't work. It's like the codes are messed up or something for the private lobbies that you can get into to battle with your friends, but I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't know how hard that is to do. I'm not a game dev, so I'm not going to say their job should be easy, but I imagine that should be a simple thing to do. For a mobile game especially, probably. So, not sure what the devs are doing there, but they should probably fix that sometime soon. The game also has a battle pass, which, if you spend money on a mobile game battle pass, there's no hope for you. I'm sorry. The first one, Run Godzilla, Godzilla Omniverse, Godzilla Defense Force, and Godzilla Battle Line. All of these mobile games I've just talked about today. How would I rank them? The first one, that's a solid 3 out of 10. The concept is cool. I would like it if there was more to do. Oh, listen to that thunder. That's great. Run Godzilla. That's a solid 1 out of 10. I'm sorry. Moving on. Godzilla Omniverse. That's, again, I like the concept, but the execution is pretty mid. Gonna have to be a 4 out of 10. Godzilla Defense Force. That's gonna be a solid, for me, personally, I would say a 6 out of 10. Again, I'm sure it depends on the person and their tastes for that game, okay? So I would recommend, if you just kinda like time waster games that don't require much thought, go ahead, download it. I'd give it a try. I'm sure you'll, think it's interesting at least. But if you want something with skill, something with, an actual game to it, then you probably won't like it. In that case, you'll probably like something more like Godzilla Battle Line, which is a solid 9 out of 10, I think. No, 9 out of 10. That's a solid 9 out of 10. So, okay, clearly, you should download Godzilla Battle Line. That's a good mobile game, as you can see. And you know what else you should do? You should subscribe and like. Because, hey, maybe if you do that, I might make another one of these. Yeah. You heard me right. I might do this again. I don't think there's any more official Godzilla mobile games to look at, but if you want me to look at bad mobile games I will do it. I can do this again. I promise you, I can. I really can do it. I can look at, like, you know, the bad, fake, cheap mobile games that kind of sort of resemble kaiju stuff or Godzilla, and I will talk about them if you want me to. I will do this again. I would gladly do this again. This was enjoyable. So, yeah. You should subscribe and comment and like and give me all that good, sweet engagement. Are there any official Godzilla mobile games that I missed? I don't know. I mean, I didn't scroll through the entire App Store, so maybe I missed something. I don't know. Maybe there's another obscure game out there that I just glossed over. But, yeah. Have a good one, chat.